We don't do that here.
But the queen rises to the top.
Right.
I did not hear from Chief, so I'm assuming he's still out of action.
Yeah, same. I haven't heard from him either.
Yeah. Oh, well.
Yeah. All right. God, why is this still happening? I don't even know what's going on. All right. Fucking
What
UFC.
happened?
I don't know. Like, my throat is all... I get raspy. It's been that way for like 2 weeks now.
Dude, same. Every time I go to bed, like, I wake up with the worst sore throat.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Like, I started using like a little humidifier, thinking that might have been it, but nope.
They finally turned on the kill switch on the vaccines. It's over.
Yeah, damn it, microchips.
That's what Ryan Garcia told me on Twitter, and no one would ever lie on the internet, right?
Especially not Ryan Garcia. Oh, Ryan Garcia. It's been an interesting journey. And there's still like 6 weeks to go before he fights Devin Haney.
Oh my god.
And it does not appear that he's doing any training. So, all right, let's do the thing here. Ultimate fucking casual. We're here for UFC 299. It's gonna be great. It's just me and Nathan today, as you probably have guessed at this point. So, I just wanted to get this one out at the very least for this. So, but first thing I wanted to cover, we covered 299 in boxing B-sides. So I wanted to cover Anthony Joshua versus Francis Ngannou a little bit of crosstalk here.
Yeah, we're 24 hours away.
Yep. Drip was very upset that it's on a Friday midday. So.
Oh, I totally disagree with him. I love it. That fits my schedule perfectly.
For him, like he said, like that's like prime work time. On a Friday.
Rip.
Yep. I'm between contracts at the moment, so I'm free for whatever. Let's see. From the bottom up here, stop me if there's anything you want to talk about, but like the bottom, especially if you're an MMA fan, these might be, a little bit too behind inside baseball or whatever. So, going from the bottom up, we have Roman Fury versus Martin Sfark. This is 4-round heavyweights. Ziad Al-Mayouf versus Christian Lopez. 6-round super lights, that's 140. Andrei Novitsky versus Juan Torres, 8-round heavyweights. Justice Hooney versus Kevin Lorena, 10-round heavyweights. Justice Hooney's worth paying attention to. He's fun to watch. So if you have spare time tomorrow. Jack McGann versus Lewis Green, 10-round super welters, that's 154. Mark Chamberlain versus Gavin Gwynn, lightweights, that's 12-round lightweights, that's 135. And Ray Vargas versus Nick Ball for the WBC 126 title. So this was...
Now, is this Ball defending his title, or is this a vacant belt up for grabs?
This is Ray Vargas's title. It was his. He moved up to fight O'Shaquie Foster for the 130 version, and then he lost, and so he's back down to 126 here.
Okay, I do remember that. Didn't Vargas, that was a strange performance for him, wasn't it? Like, he just, would never get off his backside, so to speak. Like, he'd never step on the gas, and Foster just calmly outboxed him.
Yeah, it did seem like the lore or whatever behind that. Ray Vargas had been with, for the uninitiated, Nacho Beristain. He's like a legendary Mexican trainer, and just legendary trainer in general. And Ray Vargas, he's like the second coach is his dad, and Nacho and his dad had a little spat, so they left. And that performance was the first time without Nacho in the camp, and it looked like absolute dog shit. So, yeah, he is rangy, because he's really tall for 126. So naturally he fights with using his reach as his primary tool, but even that was just question marks everywhere. Like, what the hell is going on? This is not Ray Vargas that we know.
Well, that's unfortunate because Nick Ball is a pressure fighter, isn't he? Like, he tries to get on the inside and rip hooks out.
Yep.
So this is, I know the memes being passed around of, like, you know, the average Mexican defeats the uprising British prospect that's supposed to be the next world champion, but I do actually rate Nick Ball.
Yeah,
the
no,
fights
he is rateable.
Very impressive.
Yeah. I think Drip put it nicely. He's like Pitbull Cruz, Isaac Cruz, but British, and like it not. But he's actually good though. That's the thing. It's not just British hype job, of which there are many.
Yeah, his fundamentals are very clean, very sharp punches, from what I remember.
Yeah. So the problem here is, what the hell's happening with Ray Vargas? I haven't seen any news about his coaching crew, so I can only assume it's stayed the same. And if that's the case, like, you're about to lose this title, dog. Like, that is not gonna happen. That's not gonna fly with Nick Ball. If you don't know how to, Nick Ball being smaller, like, it's comically, the size difference is comical between the two. But Ray Vargas not being able to use his bread and butter of guys trying to break distance, and then he checks them on the way in. Like, what the fuck? What are you gonna do with Nick Ball getting to your core and breaking it down? Not a good look.
No, it does seem like Nick Ball's about to pick up another TKO.
Yeah.
If it plays out like that.
Yeah, definitely. I agree. It's just a matter of the biggest question mark for me in this is, does Ray Vargas get his, like, game plan? Does he get a proper game plan and proper coaching? Because if he doesn't, he's gonna lose. But yeah, that's a good one to watch. And either way, the winner has Brandon Figueroa on the horizon, so that's not fun for anyone.
Yeah, that'd be a very tough fight for Ball to win, but that would be a fun fight to watch still.
Yeah. All right, moving up, we have Jile Zhang, the WBO interim heavyweight champion, versus Joseph Parker. I did have a little bit of a moment. This was supposed to be Deontay Wilder.
Oh,
fuck! But it's not. It's fuck.
Well, it would have been Wilder versus Joshua had Parker not done what he did.
Yeah,
I think that was the plan.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, this is like one of those fights I really hate to pick because Zhang has looked really good in his last couple fights, but he's like 40 or like 39.
Yeah,
and it's not. I mean, it's just an age of you just really don't want to fight at. It's like, I mean, the best example I can think of is like Manny Pacquiao. Like, he turns in this vintage performance against Keith Thurman, and then his next fight he gets like very soundly outboxed against Ugas. And so I favor Zhang here, but Parker is only 32, which is crazy to think about. He's been around for so long, it feels like. And he just pitched a shutout and really put a beating on Wilder. So, like, I have no idea how this fight's going to go. I think Zhang is good enough at, like, kind of cutting off the ring to make Parker, like, Parker's going to have to stand and trade for some of this fight.
Not a good idea against Chang.
Right, but he stood in front of Wilder, and I know Wilder's technique is not there, but, like, he didn't get hit once. That was, like, significant to, like, oh wow, that really rocked him. So this, I don't know. I'm torn on this one. I'm leaning Zhang just because I like him as a fighter more, but this is a tricky one to predict. Because if Zhang comes out with concrete in his boots, it's going to be a long night for him.
Yeah, that's actually exactly the way that I put it on B-Sides. Was like, it's hard to pick between these two. But I put it the opposite way. It's a matter of how are Joseph Parker's, if he's going to have concrete or not. In his last two, he's looked really rejuvenated. He looks like Joseph Parker from like 10 years ago versus the guy that was fighting the dumpy Brits for X amount of years.
Mm-hmm.
So he's looking great again, and Zhang could have trouble with that because I mean, cutting off Joe Joyce is not the same as cutting off a mobile Joseph Parker.
Yeah, Parker's not going to circle straight into your punches like Joyce did.
Like a fucking idiot.
Yeah. Baby's first southpaw stance. Whatever Joyce did.
Maybe Joyce watched Aljamain Sterling versus Sean O'Malley and said, "How I could be more of an idiot than you are. Watch this." Still, this one should be a lot of fun too. The top 3 on this card are all great, so this should be a good time. And Anthony Joshua versus Francis Ngannou for the main event. So I made a joke. Anthony Joshua posted a picture of the face-off with the caption already written, and on B-sides like a week ago, I had mentioned like this. They probably already have this. They already have this like scripted out. They put it together in the back rooms of the Matchroom HQ. Like, we're gonna pepper each other with some shit. Yeah, cut me a little bit off of your purse, and I'll let you knock me down in like round 6 or whatever. And everybody looks good. Everybody comes away fatter wallets, and yeah, it's gonna be a good time. We'll give the fans a show.
Yeah, I mean, I can't say anything to discount that because a lot of Joshua's promotion has felt like the most scripted, banal thing you could imagine. Like when he re-won the title from Maurice, like they were saying like months before the fight, oh, Joshua's gonna say, oh, it's so nice I had to do it twice, and sure enough he did because he's that cliche. So I I can't discount that, but I don't know. I think Ngannou's got a chip on his shoulder. They could have paid him however much they want. I think he's out there to try and knock Joshua's head off. Because if he does, I mean, he's basically in line for the undisputed title.
Yeah. Right?
He gets to fight the winner of Fury and Usyk. And for someone who basically he dreamed about being a boxer before he dreamed about being a mixed martial artist, I can't see him bending the knee to anyone here, even though that is kind of a meme of like, oh, well, everything's scripted.
Yeah.
But I will say, I think if Ngannou really, like, if he puts down Joshua, I don't think Joshua's going to get up unless it's like a
flash,
very slight glancing shot. Yeah. I've never been a fan of Joshua's chin. I've seen how he reacts by, getting hit by guys who are much smaller than him. Like the way his legs respond. If you watch the first Andy Ruiz fight, if you watch the Usyk fight, I think there was a moment even in Dillian White, the first time they fought.
Yeah, he busted.
His brain shuts off when you hit him on the chin. Like he just doesn't have a very strong chin. And Fury was able to survive because he has like an all-time chin. Joshua can't afford to make those same mistakes. But to his credit, he looks way more prepared for this fight than Fury was. Which Fury was clearly just bullshitting the whole time.
Yeah, and then Ngannou decided to remind him like this: I'm actually here for something, and it's not just money. So, you're right with AJ, the assessment of AJ. I heard, I want to say it was like Tim Bradley, just kind of as an aside, but it was, I think it's really prescient for in almost any situation where guys don't train for that, for getting tagged, getting buzzed, getting knocked down, getting hurt. They don't train for that because they are like so far up their own asses, they don't think it'll ever happen. Mm-hmm. So,
and that may also just be like a product of like modern day, I don't know if sensibility is the right word, but that's just what's coming to mind. But like, we don't have gym wars anymore. And if you were chinny, you would find out in a gym war, and you may never even make it to the pros. But now it's like there's a tighter constriction to how we do sparring now for obvious reasons. We don't want to beat each other's brains out before we even get to the fight. But now you've got guys that are, skilled and trained, but they're learning in real time when they get hurt how to respond to pressure. They've not had this a gym war that makes the actual fight look like a joke, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, they've never had to deal with adversity any time before. As like in-ring adversity, I should be specific. I used to see old, like when I was still boxing, coaching a little bit, starting to transition to that, I would see memes and stuff about like it was like that sunflower one, the ignoring one but angry about the other, and it was like when you spar guys in your gym, and it's like the little happy face, and then other gyms coming to spar with your guys, and it's the angry one. Like that's when you really you fucking bring the heat. That it's like a mini fight pretty much, because you don't know these guys. They're not your buddies that you train with every day. So you're gonna try to make a statement a little bit, get your name out there a little bit. AJ versus Ngannou. This is really just, as long as Ngannou doesn't look like shit, it's a win for him. I think that's all. That's all there really is to it. The better he does, the more opportunities like this he's going to get. So,
yeah, I do think if he does lose, I don't know if he boxes immediately again. I think he goes back to the PFL and snags the title there. But it definitely, as long as he doesn't just get, even if he does get embarrassed, I mean, he could come back, right, and still fight some contender and be an A-side, because the Saudis would pay for him.
Actually, he did say he's going back to PFL. One thing that we did have on the recap schedule was the PFL versus Bellator. The only fight Bellator lost was the heavyweight one. So that heavy-handed Renan Ferreira, that was a 30-second fight, wasn't it? Yeah, it was really really quick. Bader, maybe it's time to walk away, buddy.
He's like 40, so
yeah.
I mean, the result is unfortunately not surprising.
So Ferreira's young and very heavy-handed, and that is who is lined up for Ngannou when he eventually goes back to PFL. He said he's going to, so I'll just take him at his word on that one. So, but after that, if he wants to continue boxing, I'm trying to think of who else is really out there.
Oh, dude, I already have the fight lined up. Ngannou versus Zhang in China.
Oh, shit.
You have to make that. That would be really cool.
That would be crazy. Yeah, that would be intense.
That's like my wish list fight. That would be really cool.
I would really like to see, honestly, any like a top-ish name versus Zhang in China. I want to see what the Chinese can put up, as far as like they're gonna try to make it a spectacle. So I would like to see what they bring out for the Dog and Pony show. Anything else on these two, or $2.99 time?
I'll just, I guess, throw a prediction on the Joshua fight. I'll take Joshua by stoppage. I think he TKOs him.
You think it's gonna be late?
Yeah, probably like round 9 or 10. I think he'll wear him down.
Yeah, I'm thinking this goes the distance. I don't think they're gonna put that much of a hurt on each other. There'll be a KD somewhere in there.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it's one of those stoppages where people are upset that the ref jumped in, but at the same time you're like, well, he wasn't punching back.
Yeah,
that's the kind of stoppage I envision. I don't think Ngannou is going to be like unconscious.
No, but he's also he's 40 also, so maybe it's
Ngannou's 40?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's up there in age. Let me make sure.
I think he's like 37. I mean, that's still old. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, 37.
Okay, yeah, 80.
It's still plenty old. Plenty old.
Yep. God damn it, he's not that much older than me. Plenty old. Damn. All right. UFC 299, headlined by O'Malley versus Vera, but bottom up. Peter Yan versus Song Yadong.
Oh, before we hit up the whatchamacallit, the main card, I think there's a couple fights on the early prelims that are worth pointing out.
Oh, okay.
So, have you heard of? I could just run the ones real quick that are worth talking about. Have you heard of Robelis Despain?
No.
Okay, so he is like dollar store Francis Ngannou. He's like 12-0 or something like that, and his average fight time is like, no joke, like 15 seconds. I think he went to the second round once. Like he generally just he wins in like a punch.
Oof.
In the fights I've seen, or something like that. Let's see, I may have been exact. Like 12-0 may have been his total before his pro record, but he's 4-0 in MMA, and he's like won everything in the first round. His last thing was like 6 seconds. Was that his most recent fight? Oh no, that was his first fight. Why does this? Hold on, I'll let you to see this. I was doing research on this guy's card on Tapology. Look who the picture is for his opponent.
What? Chuck Norris holding fucking Uzis. That's like prime early 80s, late 70s Chuck Norris.
Yeah, so Mr. Katuma Mulumba, or AKA Chuck Norris, got knocked out in the first round. That's how good Robelis Spain is. He knocked out Chuck Norris. So he's fighting Josh Parisian, and Parisian's probably retirement fight. So there will be a knockout in the first round. Like, that's probably the easiest first round knockout prediction ever, based off everything I've seen on this guy. Michel Pereira versus Mikel.
Yes.
I can't pronounce that last name. Polish man.
Alekseyjuk.
That's just a fight worth watching. Just Michel Pereira is very explosive. Should be a really good fight. And then that's the early prelims. On the normal prelims, Mateusz Gamrot versus Rafael dos Anjos. Dos Anjos is super old. I mean, this is like a passing of the guard type of fight.
Yeah.
But I mean, I definitely think worth paying attention to, even though the odds are so lopsided for Gamrot. And then Curtis Blades versus Jalton Almeida. I think Almeida might be one of the biggest threats to the heavyweight title. He's currently ranked 7th, but he was a light heavyweight that blew up to heavyweight recently. He still looks pretty jacked. He's not just like one of these fat heavyweights. He's a really good grappler. I guess it remains to be seen how good his stand-up is, or if he can take heavyweight power, but I think he would be like a really tough matchup for someone like Tom Aspinall. Just of like, oh, this guy has a real chance he could submit Tom, just because his jiu-jitsu is that good.
Yeah, I think we had lined that up when it was Almeida versus Lewis, when that was a main event for a fight night that we had talked about.
Yeah, so for a division that's like bereft of talent, like Almeida's, I think worth watching, because he might be one of the only fights they can give a Tom Aspinall that's actually got some intrigue to it. And it's not like, oh, this is a wash, I know Aspinall or Jones is going to win. Like, there is some intrigue to that fight.
Nice. I did have that one listed. I didn't know it got moved down to the prelims, though.
Oh, gotcha. Awesome.
Peter Yan. I've seen his name or heard his name a lot. I don't know if I've seen him.
This may have been like your favorite fighter like 3 or 4 years ago. Like, maybe one of the better pure boxers in the UFC. Really throws really tight combinations. Really smart on the feet. He wrestles, but the type of wrestling he does is like fun to watch. Like, he blends it with his combinations and makes it more of a chain wrestling sort of deal. And he just has fallen off bad. He had he was DQ'd against Aljamain Sterling. He was beating the crap out of him, and then kneed him when his hands were down on the mat, which you're not allowed to do. You can't throw a knee at a grounded opponent. So he lost a fight that he was running away with by disqualification, and then he lost the rematch to Sterling, and then O'Malley beats him on his way to winning the title, and then he just got throttled by Merab. So he's like, he's gone from like he was like 2 rounds away from being bantamweight champion of the world, and now he's like, he's lost to a lot of good fighters, but like it's really unfortunate how his career's gone, and he might be washed at this point. Honestly, he's gone through a lot.
I think the O'Malley one, Peter Yan versus O'Malley, I used that as when I was clipping together some discussion of how shitty O'Malley's ground game is, and it was O'Malley kind of like flopping around, and then Peter Yan just gets up. It's pretty sad. Damn, he still lost that.
So he has a very good chance of winning against Song if he's not totally washed. To be honest, I've never really been impressed by what Yudong brings to the table. His style just seems so, I don't know. It's not as aggressive as I would prefer to see. It's a lot of like, it feels like more decision wins, more longer fights,
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's actually a good. Even for the most recent one, Gutierrez, I did watch that one. It was a headline for a fight night, and yeah, that's a good way to put it. That's how he looked. All right, moving up, we have Gilbert Burns versus Jack Della Maddalena.
So this is kind of in the same realm of like, same shades of the Zhang fight we were just talking about. Like, what state is Gilbert Burns in? Because he's getting up in their age. But this is a losable fight for him just because of like he's got a lot of mileage on his body. So this is kind of a hard one to predict. Kind of leaning Jack. I think Jack's probably going to win. But Burns is still young enough in a sense that he could turn in a more vintage performance and win. But that's the sort of affair we have. Like, do you trust his age or not?
Yeah. Well, and Jack's he's a pretty well-rounded fighter from the bit I have seen of him. So I guess that's the question. Has Gilbert aged enough for Jack to take the spot? Oh man. Kevin Holland versus Michael Page.
It's Michael Venom Page to you, MVP, as he's known.
Oh, pardon me.
Yeah, so this is a long-awaited moment. People have wanted to see Page in the UFC for years. He tore up Bellator for a long time. Had a couple brutal he had, I think, one brutal knockout loss. I think he lost his second fight by decision. But he's like one of those guys that's proof that there is excellent MMA talent outside of the UFC.
Yeah.
Very fun striker to watch, very showboaty. So there's like some shades of like Anderson Silva in there. Very open, almost karate stance like Connor.
Yeah.
But like, very creative, very like, he'll be like mid showboating and then he'll just like, snap out a jab, and he's just like markedly faster than all of his opponents. So, he's older. He's like 35 now, but I don't think he's fought in 2 years. So I don't think he's had the chance to kind of take a breather and maybe get a second win to his career. So I'm expecting him to come out and really put on a show.
So they're both 6'3". Michael Page, his reach is 79. Kevin Holland is 81. There's about 5 years age difference, but they both have.
It says Kevin Holland has a 40-inch leg reach and MVP has a 0-inch leg reach.
Wow.
So I guess they've cut off his legs prior to the fight.
Yeah, they're really trying to push Kevin Holland at the expense of MVP.
That's what it seems like.
Oh, man.
See, this is like one of the Brits that's like truly elite, I think. Like, you can't make fun of this guy.
Yeah.
Like, he's legit.
So this should be good. What is this? I guess another question if Kevin Holland does belong in the elite or not.
Well, I don't think, to be honest, as much as I like Holland, I don't think he's ever belonged in the elite. This is more of just a hurdle to show where MVP's at. Because if he's for real, he'll probably blow out Holland. But if he like struggles his way to a decision or loses, then it's like, no one's happy about that. Not, and that's not to discredit Holland in any way, but I think most MMA fans want to see Page be elite so we can actually throw him up against like the higher ups of the welterweight division, get some cool fights out of it.
Right. All right. This one, Dustin Poirier versus Benoit Saint-Denis. This is one where I'm not so certain. I don't know.
I'm not either.
On Dustin. I'm not certain that this is Dustin's fight to win.
So here's the problem. Dustin is 7-0 when coming back from a loss. So like he's very good at rebounding from losses he's taken. But at the same time, he just got knocked out by a head kick and he's 35.
Yeah.
And I'm getting like shades of like what do you call it? Like Volkan to Poirier. You know, Poirier obviously not the same caliber of pound for pound fighter, but just a guy who's older, who's still fighting at really high level, you know, up against a newer opponent who's like, you know, very explosive, very powerful, and he's coming off a really bad knockout. Like, you know, and the odds reflect that. Saint Denis is ranked 12th, but he's a favorite, which is, you know, maybe Dustin as an underdog. Dustin may be, you know, that may be enough motivation for him to somehow win this. But this is a tough one to call. This is really tough. We're going to figure out if Dustin has suffered any from that KO pretty quickly, I think.
That's what I'm worried about. And apparently the odds reflect it as well. That has Dustin taken one too many, and Saint Denis like a fucking lunatic. So stylistically, this fight you think would favor Dustin because he's the calmer, more patient fighter, and he's going to be the more technical guy against, you know, Saint Denis, who's much more explosive, much more athletic, but prone to tiring himself out late. So I think the longer the fight goes on, the more it favors Dustin. But if Saint Denis can find a really big shot early, like I guess I wouldn't be surprised if he ended up getting knocked out. Is this 5 rounds?
Good question. 5-round co-main event.
Cool.
Ooh, so I gotta lean Dustin in that case.
So then that might be like the sneaky money bet.
Yeah. I mean, him as an underdog is pretty. I don't know if I could pick a better underdog. That's like really good odds to get. But, you know, I also always lose money at the casino, so don't listen to me for gambling advice.
Main event. Sean O'Malley, bantamweight champ. This is a rematch with Marlon Vera?
It is. According to O'Malley, they never fought before and he never lost. But to everyone else in the world, he did lose.
Huh.
He got injured. He like, I don't know if it was from a kick, and he like, I think he just came down on his foot wrong and he ended up hurting his foot. So that was sort of the circumstances of the loss, a bit of an asterisk on it. But this is still a tough one to call. Vera has issues starting early, and O'Malley's really good at starting early. That being said, I've been watching some breakdowns of like how O'Malley tries to like get his shot, and he likes to do a lot of like of opposite. He wants to get the opposite stance of the opponent he's looking for, so he could fire a counter over their right hand. But I was looking, or I've in the breakdowns, I was saying Vera was switching stances with O'Malley to make sure that he could never have that opposite side opportunity to counter. And the fight ended quickly. We didn't see if O'Malley could adapt beyond that, but it seemed like Vera had a strategy that he was employing very early to keep O'Malley from getting the easy sniper shot.
Yeah, it's a really good game plan to take the straight away.
Mm-hmm. And he, not only that, but he hits hard, and he's a great leg kicker. And with how gangly O'Malley is for that division, his legs are going to be open a lot. This is also, I mean, this one's tough for different reasons. This is more of like, how good is Sean O'Malley really? Like, he just is the kind of guy, he looks for one shot and tries to knock you out. But you wonder is he going to get hurt before he finds that shot? Like, hurt as in from a punch, not from a fluke injury. Or, is Vera going to start slow and O'Malley's going to put him away before he even has a chance to get going? That could be, a realistic scenario for this fight.
If I recall correctly, Drip was leaning for Vera stopping with a late stop.
Okay. I mean, that would be a reasonable pick, just because you definitely wouldn't pick Vera early.
Yeah.
Because he blundered, I think, against Corey Sandhagen. He did like nothing until the fourth round.
I remember that.
Yeah, it was against Sandhagen.
Yeah.
And then he tried to pick it up and couldn't do anything. But Sandhagen's also like a really, really great all-around fighter who knows how to kind of, hit and not get hit and really just frustrate his opponent. And I don't know if O'Malley has that sort of like defense in his arsenal. Unfortunately, he does have kind of one-hit wonder quality to me. Like he's a specialist in what he does.
Yeah. 5'11", holy shit.
Yeah, he's a tall boy.
Yeah, he is very tall for this weight division. Yikes. Maybe nervous energy. Sean O'Malley is going to be the one if he shows up again.
I think I will take Sean by knockout, just because I think he's taking his he's just continued to surprise me. He gets matched up against Jan. I'm like, there's no way he's going to win this fight, and he wins. Even if it was a controversial win, it was still a win. And then he goes up against Aljamain. He beats Aljamain. And now he's going to fight a guy who is going to let him stay in his element. He doesn't have to worry about wrestling or grappling. He could just, do what he's good at, which is striking. And so I'm going to take O'Malley by, I'll say, second round knockout.
All right. Second round knockout. That's like very specific. You got a minute as well?
Oh, I'll say fourth minute.
Very well. That'll be it.
One round to feel him out, and the second round he's like, okay, I'm tired of you and putting you away.
I'm feeling O'Malley taking this one over distance. I don't think he's going to want to mix it up with Vera that much. But yeah, that's it for 299. I don't know if we got anything else.
Well, not on our agenda. We can cover that when we get the full crew back. But
yeah.
Do we want to talk about Jake Paul's next fight?
Oh, he's fighting Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
What the hell? I know
it's
what
an
this
AT&T
is.
Stadium, boy.
I know. Like, I know what this is, but it's like, I still don't like it. I know that this is a cash grab for both of them.
Mike is actually at risk to get knocked out because he's like literally 57.
Yeah. He's almost 60 years old versus Jake Paul, who's coming up on 30. Yeah, this isn't a good idea. For
I heard some pretty funny nicknames for Jake Paul after this got announced, like the enemy of elders, the Alzheimer's assassin. Some really bad stuff like that.
That is a good one. The Alzheimer's assassin. I like that.
This is gonna be really sad if Tyson doesn't knock him out in the first round. Like, I mean, he was fighting a really old Roy Jones, and he like had 1 round in him, and that was a 4 or 5 round fight, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was an exhibition too, so like they were taking it light, taking it pretty
Yeah,
easy.
I mean, it's a joke, man.
Yeah, unfortunately. I hope they at least stacked the card.
I don't know if there's ever been a Jake Paul card that's you could call stacked, unfortunately.
As stacked as they can make it.
Yeah. I mean, I will say though, if they're putting it in Cowboys Stadium and there's so much seating there, I bet you could score a pretty cheap ticket. Comparatively, like I don't think they're going to be all $1,000 tickets, but
Definitely not.
I may sneak my way in there and be a live correspondent for that fight.
I do appreciate that. I put my fucking entire leg down in my face. Like I was saying before, because he fought that an actual contender in his most recent fight, like a guy with a winning record. He's actually a boxer. He's actually like a guy who's taking his career seriously. So I had said, like, man, Jake Paul, this is nice. He's kind of stepping back from the circus events, and he's kind of taking his boxing career seriously. And I think it's really cool to see for him to get a knockout in the first round. So he might be a lot better than people think. And then he does this. Thanks.
The sad, if there's no honor in this fight, he's being very smart, because if he knocks out, like most normies I think would look at this and they see the videos of Tyson hitting the heavy bag on Instagram, and it's like they can't imagine like a normal person fighting Mike Tyson and living, and that's how they see Jake. Most people I think see Jake Paul as like, oh, he's just a YouTuber in boxing gloves. It's like, well, if he knocks out Mike Tyson, like,
oh, it'll be his legitimacy.
Right, or at least people will definitely pay attention to him, and he's gonna. I mean, he could eventually get his way into some kind of a light heavyweight championship fight and still be the A side, because his brand is going to be so big by the time he's, assuming he doesn't just die, which is also possible. Like he gets hit by a Tyson left hook and goes out. But assuming that doesn't happen.
Tyson is still, like, for being as old as he is, he's still pretty limber. He can move around really well.
He's scary as hell. He still looks like he's juiced to the gills.
Yeah, it is a little concerning that he's that good, but I think because he's that good, I worry he might overestimate himself. Like the guy's like 30 years younger than you. I don't know if this isn't a good idea, man.
Yeah, it definitely isn't. I mean, you can only hope that he just comes out unscathed.
Yeah.
I guess we can give or take Paul's well-being. We don't care if he goes into a coma or anything.
If he stops, some career-ending injury, I'm not too much love lost. So I guess the Jake Paul meme train has derailed in Ohio somewhere.
Did you ever see those memes that are like, it's like a timeline? It's like Jake Paul can't win a boxing fight, or Jake Paul can't beat Ben Askren, can't beat Tyron Woodley, can't beat a real boxer, can't beat a contender, can't be a world champion. It's like, you are here, and it just keeps moving with every fight. It's like all the excuses lined up, and he's just knocking them down.
Nice.
We're in a simulation, guys, so
yeah.
Unfortunately, this is just what's happening.
Wow. That timing. All right. Anything more before we get out of here?
No, I think that's it.
All right. I will cut in all the rest of the stuff right there. All right. Thank you for listening. We'll try to get the rest of the stuff, like the reviews, recaps, and all the rest of it, and more, previews as they become available. Try to get those out to you as soon as we can. But for now, just enjoy this. Questions, comments, concerns, you can call or text 833-LUX-PODS. It's anonymous either way. If you leave a voicemail and it's fun, we can cut it in. So that's pretty cool. lvxmedia.net. On the site, you could see all the other stuff that we get up to. Like, we put out shows and written stuff from time to time. If you want to hit us up on the socials, lvxmedianet, anywhere and everywhere. If you can't find it, we're not on it. Oh, I don't think there's anything else. Oh, yeah. If you do want to get your hands on this, uncensored and uncut and all of that stuff, you could go to patreon.com/lvxmedianet and get yourself signed up there. All right, there you go. That's going to do it. Thanks for joining us, and see you next time.